I'm the honor to be next to Mr. Isaac Hayes III, whose Fanbase is founder and CEO. And we do this every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time as a way to let everyone, new, existing users, new and existing investors as well. We have new investors every week. So we can talk about our current raise. We're raising $17 million. I'm going to let Isaac do the nice introduction he always does, but we're very happy you're here because this is also a space for you to ask questions related to the race, questions related to the fan base, to the future. And we're here for you. And I hope you enjoy this audio room as much as we enjoy doing it every Tuesday. With that said, Mr. Isaac, if you can please walk us through the race, where we are and what are we doing, and we'll get from there.
Yes. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our Tuesday Investor Town Hall for Fanbase. We do this audio town hall every Tuesday from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Fanbase to let everybody know the current status of our Regulation A crowdfund, which is currently open on Starting. We are raising $17 million in a Regulation A crowdfund. And what does that mean? That means you have an opportunity to actually have equity in Fanbase as an owner, a shareholder, and own a part of the company. This is the fourth crowdfund we've done, but the first Reg A crowdfund. And in total, in 4 years, Fanbase has raised over $20 million from investors, just like some of you in this room and others of you that will be joining us very, very soon. Our current raise stands at $10.6 million on Start Engine. We're going to $17 million in this raise, which is pretty significant. We're over halfway there. And this sparks a really good movement in fan base and growth and really building our vision of what the future is, which is why we did this raise. We, built the company at a certain pace and a speed, but we wanted to raise capital that gave us the ability to have some escape velocity to really move the platform forward in a way that I think benefits everybody. And there's no time better than now with all the instability in social media, the changes, the uncertainty of what platforms will be here and what next coming weeks. So we welcome all of you to go to startengine.com/fanbase to invest. The minimum to invest is $399. What does that get you? That gets you 60 shares of stock in Fanbase at $665 a share at a valuation of $160 million. So we welcome all of you to join us. Invite your friends, invite people that you feel should have equity and ownership in the platforms they use. And we'll continue to talk about this during the next hour about, what all we're doing and what we plan to do.
Awesome. I'm going to do some, I call it questions and answers, a ping pong quickly, because I know some of you are going to ask these questions. So number one, Isaac, is how many times can I invest and how much can I invest? You already mentioned the minimum, but how many
Yeah.
times and how much?
So there is no limit to how many times you can invest in Fanbase. If you've invested in previous rounds, you can invest again. If you've invested in this round and want to add a little bit more to your investment, you are able to do that. I spoke about the minimum. There is no maximum. So if someone wants to invest a large portion and close this round out, which is about a little over 6 million remaining, you're more than welcome to do that. You can invest as much as you want. That's for accredited and non-accredited investors across the globe, except for the UK and in Canada. In the UK, only accredited investors can invest. And in Canada, there's some restrictions that the Canadian government has on investing, which if we could solve, we probably would close this round. But there's no way currently that we know of that you can invest in Fanbase from Canada, but everywhere else it's available in multiple countries.
Love it. Let's talk a little bit about the way we communicate with our investors, or so I just invested in Fanbase.
Yeah.
Which ways do we communicate with investors?
Well, one, you'll get email communications from Start Engine along the process of investing. There's a process in investing in Fanbase. You will receive communications from Start Engine at that point. Also, we have updates that we post at least minimum 2 times a week on the Start Engine page, and those go to update anybody that's been to the Start Engine page that follows it or that has invested in Fanbase. And then also you can get official communications as a Fanbase investor in our investor newsletter. And that's always the ways that we communicate with you. Again, I will say this, that we will never, ever, 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 ever tell you to cash app us money because I know that people have, we've had a couple people
Yeah.
try to attempt to raise capital in nefarious ways. The only way that you can invest in Fanbase is through Start Engine. Even if I send you a link or tell you to go somewhere, that link will direct you to one of two places, startengine.com/fanbase or invest.fanbase.app. And those are the only two links that would ever tell you to go to invest in Fanbase. So if anybody's trying to tell you to cash up that money or they could give you instructions on crypto or anything like that, that is fraud. Ignore those people. Do not pay attention. Run, run, run. And also let us know who those individuals are because we spend time removing those accounts from all social media platforms, including Fanbase.
Love it. Let's talk a little bit about the perks. I'm going to go ahead and just mention some additional reasons. But hold on, before I talked about the additional reasons and why do I call these additional reasons? Isaac, tell everyone the main reason why Fanbase is a different investment than anywhere else out there, and how an investor can also make a difference beyond putting money.
Well, typically, retail investing is what is widely available to the general public. So that means after a company has gone public, that is available on the stock market, you're able to invest in those companies and see growth and value in the shares that you purchased or loss of value in the shares that you purchased, right? And so for over 83 years, the ability for the general public to invest in a private company, so the ability for anybody in this room to invest in a Google or an Apple or a Microsoft or an Instagram or a Facebook was not available unless you were an accredited investor. Because of the Jobs Act, this law that was put in place by Barack Obama and Joe Biden, it allowed anybody to invest in an early stage company, regardless of their net or annual income. So it wipes out the accredited investor rule and gives you an opportunity at the rare chance to invest in an early stage company before they go public. And that's extremely valuable in the world of social media because we all know that what gives value are the users. The community itself is what gives a platform its value. Everybody left Instagram, it'd be worth $0.00. If everybody left TikTok, the platform would have no value. So as people join Fanbase, the over 1.4 million people that actually are on Fanbase, all of these people, including you as investors, have the ability to raise the profile and the value of Fanbase. So investing in Fanbase and then using your reach to increase the value of the company is significant. And I think that's a really great way to boost the value of Fanbase and actually help us accelerate the raise.
Love that. So let's talk a little bit about the additional risks or additional perks that you get by investing in Fanbase. Okay, so number one is if you're an existing investor, meaning you have invested in the past 3 rounds before this round, you get automatically, and you invest again in this round, of course, you get automatically a 5% bonus shares. Okay, so just from the get-go, if you invested in the past in Fanbase and you invest again, you're gonna get 5% bonus shares, which is a big perk. But let's talk a little bit about the 5 different tiers and the perks that we have for each tier, depending on how much you invest. If you invest $600 or more, you're part of tier 1. You will be part of our early access list, where we're gonna be including you, so you can be the first one to test some of the new features. We've been doing a lot of refining, a lot of A/B testing, and we have some new features coming up this year, and we want you to be part of that. Then, if you invest $1,000 or more, that's tier 2, you will receive 10,000 labs that you can use in the platform to support a creator. If you want to lab any type of content through our 6 different content formats, you can do that with that 10,000 labs as well. And you also get a verified profile badge, which is the blue badge. Okay, that's all part of tier 2, $1,000 or more. If you invest $2,500 or more, you're part of tier 3. You will get labs. You get 15,000 labs. You're gonna get also a fan-based T-shirt. Okay, we got a new batch of T-shirts, and we started shipping a lot of those. In fact, if you're one of those that got a new merch from investing in Fanbase, I would love for you to take a picture and put it on socials, even on Fanbase, and tag us. We want to see more of Fanbase T-shirts out there as we give them to our amazing investors. And then last but not least, as part of tier 3, you also get a verified profile badge, the blue badge. Okay, let's go to tier 4. Tier 4 is $4,000 or more. Sorry, tier 4 is $5,000 or more. You're gonna get 20,000 laps. You're gonna get also a T-shirt. You're gonna get a badge, but in this tier, it's a gold verified badge. So it's a special badge, and then you're gonna get 5% bonus shares. So I always say this: think about this. You're an existing investor. You invested in one of the past 3 rounds. You invest in this round $5,000 or more. You're gonna get 10% bonus shares, 5% for being an existing investor, and 5% for being part of tier 4. Okay, and then last but not least, our tier 5 diamond investors. If you invest $10,000 or more, you're gonna get 30,000 laps. You're gonna get a T-shirt. You're gonna get a gold verified badge. You will also get access to a private dinner with us to celebrate that we're closing the race. Now, some of you have reached out and asked when the dinner is. We are planning to do every round, so all 4 rounds at once. Okay, so we haven't given that perk yet, is because we want to do it all together, and we're hoping to do it very soon, meaning that we close this round as well. And then last but not least, you also get 10% bonus shares on tier 5. So again, if you're an existing investor that invested in any of the prior 3 rounds and you invest $10,000 or more in this round, you get automatically 15% bonus shares. So again, an extra perk in there. Okay, the question that we always get is, okay, do you allow stacking of the perks? So if you invest $600 today and then tomorrow you invest $2,000, can you put the investments together and make me part of tier 3? The answer is yes, but that only applies to the perks that we can control, meaning the lab, the T-shirts, the badges, and so on. When it comes to bonus shares, that's controlled by Start Engine, and we cannot stack those. Everything else we do stack. Okay. Now, if you invested, you should have received an email where we actually welcome you to the Fanbase family. And in that email, you're also going to see a button that says claim your perk, where you're going to be able to email support and claim your perk right away. If you invested, several months ago or in the past and you still don't have your perk, please reach out to support, let them know that you're an investor. They'll ask you a few questions to verify that, and then you will be able to claim your perk right away. We get those every day, so please don't just sit waiting for the perks to come to you. Make sure you claim them, and we'll take care of you right away. All right. With that said, I think it's a good time to take a little pause, Isaac, and see if we have any questions out there.
Yep.
Let's see. I saw someone saying, I reported so many fake profiles for Isaac and Rama. Well, thank you for that. We are actually, hopefully you realize that, but about almost 3 weeks ago, we built a new layer of the moderation system for bots and profiles, and we're getting better and better. So you guys reporting it also helps, and we're going to be adding those variables to that. So I appreciate you guys looking after the community and us as well. Okay.
That makes me feel like we made it. And you got bots and fake profiles on your social media platform. I was like, that's the big time.
I know, that is true. That is true. When you invest, let me see, there's a investment. When you invest before what date, or do you get 5% up on any subsequent addition investments? Got it. So the 5%, automatic 5% applies to prior rounds. Now, it's a good question, and I'm going to put Sil on the spot, and we might not know it. If I'm an investor, let's say that I invested at the beginning of this round or on this round 4, and then I invested again, that 5% does not apply, correct? So it's the past 3 rounds that gives you the 5% bonus shares. But I'll let Sil confirm that, Jamie, because that was a good question. But definitely the past 3 rounds, if you invested in the past and you invest back again in this one, you'll get automatically 5%. Okay, you're welcome. All right, someone said, I need a T-shirt. Well, you know how you can get it. Invest in Fanbase. It's a win-win, Carlos. You know, you determine your future. you can go into the platform and create content, share content, and grow the value of what you invest in, and also get a T-shirt. It's perfect. All right. Thank you, Sila. I just saw that you answered that question. So only if you invested in prior rounds. Thank you for that. All right. I see Carlos can't wait for the dinner. We can't wait either. It depends on what mood we get Isaac. He said that he might cook for everyone. So we'll see if that's going to happen or not.
That actually might happen. That might happen. That's possible.
I hope so. All these years knowing Isaac, he hasn't cooked once for me. So we'll see. Let me see.
What else? You've had my cooking. You've had my cooking.
We always get the leftovers.
You've had my cooking. I made stuff specifically for the office before. You might have missed it, but I've definitely showed up and showed out.
So I see Daniel saying, how can I pitch an idea? So I want to talk a little bit about the pipeline and the channel we have created with support. A lot of times when you talk about tech support, people think, okay, I just need to use tech support when I have an issue, when I have a bug. And that's not necessarily true, because tech support is not there just to solve issues and hear about bugs. We want you to do that. We want you to report everything that you see, but it's also a channel for you to share ideas and share feedback. What we do is every single ticket that gets created by you shaking your phone, ideally, that's the number one, or emailing us at support@fanbase.app, that gets tagged and documented. And then every month, we do an assessment of all the tickets that came and look at, okay, these are some nice to have that our users said they would love to see in Fanbase. These are some ideas of longer term features and solutions we want to have in Fanbase. So to answer your question, Daniel, the best way is to share through support. They'll triage it and it'll get to us. Nothing stays in support and then dies there. There's always an end goal. Either the issue gets solved, the issue gets escalated to marketing, operations, finances, but we do a lot with that. So please use the support channel also as a way for you to share beyond bugs, share ideas, feedbacks, or anything that you see in the platform. Okay. All right. Let's see what else. Can we buy T-shirts anywhere? You can. I know Ebony, I'm not sure if she might like this, but if you go to shop.fanbase.app, I said that
Ebony in trouble.
I know. Well, because we have a lot of demand, guys, on merchandise, and we'll talk a little bit about what we're doing with the money, but we're very, we're very conservative in certain things as to how we spend the money. So when we get a lot of requests for merchandise, sometimes we do it in batches. But yeah, go to shop.fanbase.app, and in there you should be able to order. But if it's in backlog, you'll be able to order in backlog as well. Okay. All right. Someone said, show me some love. We'll be making an investment on Friday. You know what? I'm going to give you love. In fact, we're going to get to the point where we ask everyone that invested, how many of you made up that money in Fanbase back? And I'm sure there's a lot of you that did that. All right. I see someone saying, fix the blog button. We do have the blog. It was part of a Q1 objective, and then when January came and TikTok shut down for a day, which by the way we're going to talk about TikTok, Isaac, shortly, things got pushed just because we needed to reprioritize things. But blog will be addressed again. The difference between Fanbase and other platforms when it comes to functionality such as blog is we don't have to worry about just one type of content format that you need to block it. There's 6 of them plus DM plus everything, so it's a lot of considerations. And as we understand, there's some loopholes in there. We're going to be fixing those for sure. We're hoping in Q2 we'll get there. Okay. Let's see. All right. What else? Someone said, it appears that you have not posted much on LinkedIn lately. You know what? We're going to let the marketing team know so you guys can share on LinkedIn as well. So if we have anyone in marketing here.
Yeah, marketing.
Yeah, marketing. What's going on, guys?
What's going on, marketing?
So, yeah, we've been hyper focused on some of the investor channels that Isaac shared as well. Something to consider, Isaac. I want you. This is a good question, the sideway question. Talk a little bit about the challenge of not only growing a platform like Fanbase, but also doing crowdfunding at the same time.
Oh,
Because
wow.
you and I talk about this all the time, but I think we need to give visibility to that, right? All the many things that we need to do.
Yeah, well, I mean, typically, startups receive funding from VCs in large swaths of money, so large tranches that the company is able to use to build the platform. And for us, we didn't take that route. Initially, I think it was really, really important that Fanbase had the ability to grow and scale, but also I wanted to provide the opportunity for the community to have equity. And so the challenge in doing that is when you're raising capital, it is a 24/7 campaign. It is something that never stops. It doesn't slow down. You have to keep your foot on the gas to make sure that you're doing everything you can to raise that capital. So it puts a little strain on me as the CEO of the company because a lot of times I'm doing other things that really, help raise the capital for the company. We all are. So we're kind of wearing two hats. We're crowdfunding simultaneously and we're building the app at the same time. Me and Ramiro often talk about how much fun it's going to be to just work, work on the app without, crowdfunding. But it's for a good cause and it gives us our independence, it gives us leverage, it gives us the ability to build the company that we want to build in the way that we want to build it. And so it's a challenge that we accept. And actually, I think this process for me, I say this has made um, me a better founder and a better CEO and made us a better company because we understand our company in ways that we probably would not have understood the company having just taken dollars from VCs. So when you really learn the minutia of, your stock structure and your finances and all these things that go right along with it, sometimes VCs are the ones that are left in charge or entrusted and really oversee a lot of that stuff. So for us, it's given us great knowledge and information and perspective on how to build the best company moving forward and not and look for the traps and the tricks.
Let's talk a little bit about you triggered something in my mind, and we'll go back to the questions. But let's talk about the journey of you as a founder since we started Fanbase, because I think it's important. And there's been, just for you and me, there's been a transformation and an ever going improvement as professionals, as humans, since we started. But I want you to share your experience with everyone since the first day that you came up with the idea up to today, and how you think you might have evolved into a founder and CEO.
Well, I mean, the first thing I could say is I had no plans to become a tech founder, but I saw a problem that needed to be solved. And I think that's the best way to approach any business with a successful mindset that you feel that you're solving a problem that's in real need. And what I saw is that there is a disproportionate relationship between the content creator or the user and the app itself. And so I was in the music industry for 20 plus years and really understood the value of owning your content, owning your IP as far as music publishing and masters and stuff like that. And I did that for my family as well. And so when I saw the need that creators on social media platforms need to be able to monetize their content the same way that musicians do and labels do, that everybody needs that ability to do so. That was the idea for Fanbase. It was a bootstrap risk that we take. And a lot of times we often talk about bootstrapping, and bootstrapping is just spending your own money to build your company. So for me, I made a personal investment of $200,000 to get Fanbase going and build the MVP, which is a minimal viable product, a really good product that shows that social media could have subscriptions and users and tipping and that kind of stuff. And in that process, I learned a lot about technology from Ramiro as we started to work together. I think I learned that a sentence can cost $1 million, and that things are a lot harder than people think they are to build and to create. But the one thing that Ramiro told me from the beginning, which is true to this day still, is that you can build anything. It's just how fast do you want to build it? Do you want to build it in 6 months or do you want to build it in 6 weeks? And capital is the main reason that, the lifeblood of giving a platform velocity and acceleration to be able to do that. And so, money talks, money makes it work. And so that made me feel really, really comfortable about being someone that has, a vision or ideas, because now I can kind of think of things and throw them at the team and they're like, yeah, we can do that. And I'm like, that's cool. So but
we, we spoil you.
yeah, they do. They absolutely do. But it's made me a lot more patient. And I think Ramiro will tell you this, definitely, the fact that my patience has come a long way, because we would have had a conversation a few years ago, and I would expect the functionality to be done in this amount of time, and we're rushing and all that kind of stuff. And I would want us to rush, and it was like, that's not how it works. And so I think I've become a lot more patient and calmer in expectation of what we can do, and I think that works good for us as well.
That's awesome. Well, I have a question about the story too that I think we never asked here. But
hmm
what's how do you come up with the name Fanbase? Someone asked that. I think it's a good question.
Oh, so okay. So the name fan base came up because in actuality, everyone is a fan of something, right? Be it a food product, an athlete, a book, a movie, a game, a person, an artist, a fan of bird watching and bass fly fishing and ice skating, right? And so that was one. And then two, we all have a fan base. We all have people out here, whether we know it or not, that believe in us, and it can be small groups of people. It could be your family. It could be your closest friends. It could be your coworkers. It could be millions of people if you are someone that happens to be famous. And within that fan base are a group of people that are committed and want to see you succeed. They want to see you accomplish the things that you want to accomplish. And I think a lot of us don't realize that we have fans. And I think fan is often used as a negative word, but it's just a supporter or someone that champions your success. We know who haters are, but for every hater you have a fan. And so fan base was that. And I think that something else is the F. And if you notice the F logo, and I still have that very first that very first mock-up logo that I gave to Ramiro on the team, that they perfected and made an excellent logo. It was an F with a lightning bolt. And the reason why I put a lightning bolt is because fan base gives you the opportunity to energize your fan base. It gives you the opportunity to provide content and experiences and things that energize the people that want to support you. So that's why the F and the lightning bolt are incorporated, and that's where uh, the name fan base came from.
I love it. I will also say that since the first day that we sat down in that old office on the table and you told me about the idea, we we have a lot of agreements and we have a lot of disagreements. And as such, for me as a CTO, I also have evolved a lot since then, in the sense that you, Isaac, you are a creative visionary. A lot of times sometimes you're a big believer in taking chances and being bold. And from my side, as a very techie guy, I come from a more structured type thing. Everything has to be a factual thing, science. And something that I learned from you is to mix it up a little bit. And sometimes it's good to become a little bit bold and take some risk and so on. So I just wanted to give my perspective on that story too, because just like you feel like you evolved, I feel like I've evolved as CTO too because of our interaction since day one. So
Oh,
that's
that's.
that's
I think
also
we've had a positive effect on one another, because for me, it's like. Um, Definitely with, even like for me, I understand, I'm someone that wants to take risks, but also at the same time I think the fact that we've been patient and conservative with the way that we spend capital and the way that we function is important in what we do. And then for me, and I'm one of the bootstrap guys, so I don't mind sacrificing for the greater good of the company. This isn't something for me, like I said, this isn't like this isn't anything that I said, oh, I just want to make a quick flip and do something. We built fan base to be disruptive, but disruptive in a positive way, to really strip away the barriers that prevent the average everyday person from reaching an audience as a creator and monetizing that relationship if they so choose, or even just having the reach and visibility that they want. And I love that, because that is what a lot of these platforms do not want to happen, because in between you and your audience or the people that follow you is a lot of money. And currently those platforms are designed that they get all of the money and you get none of it. And I want to remove that barrier so that all the potential revenue and opportunity flows directly to creators. And it's something that a lot of these platforms struggle with, because they're so dependent on advertising revenue, and they're so dependent on suppressing you so that brands don't come and pay you. And I want to strip that away. And we're going to strip that away. We're going to continue to strip that away until we have a democratized world of people that just have direct consumer relationships with everybody on the planet by means in which they want to consume content and be entertained. It's a very interesting time. It's a very great time to be into social media.
Definitely, definitely. And talking about the a great time to be in social media, let's talk about April 5th. All
Yes.
right. So April 5th is coming. Tell us a little bit about, what could happen on April 5th. What are your thoughts? And let's talk a little bit about why Fanbase could be a great, alternative to what might be happening there.
Well, I mean, so as we know, the TikTok ban took place early in January, and they had 90 days to come up with a deal before the app could be potentially banned again. What I will say is that regardless of what happens April 5th, I think eventually TikTok will not be the app that it was, simply for the fact that the Chinese government and ByteDance have said over and over again that they will not sell TikTok with the algorithm. So they will not sell their app with the secret sauce that makes it what it is. So I think there'll be fundamental changes to the user experience on TikTok in some way, shape, or form. Or the app could go dark again on April 5th. For those reasons, we want to be prepared, because the last time we had an amazing surge of users to come onto the platform that help us scale and grow. And we want to be prepared. We learned a lot from that surge, and we want to be prepared for that next surge. You know, I also think about these things, just being candid with the people that are in this room and listening to this conversation. I just think that a lot of the behavior that's happened in the last few months kind of gives the indication that the app might go away, simply because of the positions that Meta has taken in creating a version of CapCut that they're trying to launch, I think, this month, and the rumblings that they may take Reels and spin it off into a solo application. Regardless, I mean, there's over 100 million users of TikTok in the United States of America, and that audience is going to be up for grabs. And there's a large portion of those people that do not want to go on Instagram, and they do not want to be on Facebook on Reels. And so it's a very, very good opportunity for fan base to capture that audience, deliver something that's different. And take advantage of just, the uncertainty that's in the market. And I've always said that no social media platform is immortal. They all will go away in some way, shape, or form, or they will all cease to be as relevant as they are to the generations that make them relevant, which are the young people that really dictate culture, that really talk about the trends, that really know the music, the things that we all enjoy, the slang, the lingo, the things that we get involved in. That's primarily driven by young people and Black culture. And so there'll always be a new app to come forward and make young people inspired and want to create community. And so Fanbase is the platform that is positioned to be a successor to these apps, which I've always thought of us as not competitors to Instagram and TikTok, but successors to these platforms, just in the design and the thought of how we treat the creator, treat the user, allow people to see their content, and provide the opportunity for you to own the platform and also monetize in the same way.
Love it, love it. Okay, I see that we have new users joining us. Welcome, everyone. We'll do a brief recap before we close the audio room. So if you missed anything, you can catch up. And again, if you have any questions, please put them in the chat, and we'll do our best to answer those. All right. So I'm seeing several new users, Isaac,
Hmm.
and a lot of them are talking about, engagement. Where do I start? What are the first steps? Can we go through the basics of or what are the basic things that you can do as a new user in Fanbase that can get you closer to getting paid?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. So we have, nine steps that we think um give you the best advantage to absolutely have the best success on fan base. And why we say this is because if you do not using these best practices really decreases the opportunity for you to maximize your reach. So it's not like you just jump on any platform, and that's TikTok, that's any platform that you can just jump on there and find success instantly. It doesn't work like that. You have to kind of put yourself in the frequency of success. And so these nine things put you in the frequency of success on Fanbase. The first one is actually just creating a Fanbase profile, just to be here and do that. Number two is migrating your content from Instagram or TikTok. And what's important about that is I see a lot of gray Fs in the audience, but I see a lot of people that have profile pictures. But when you migrate your content from either Instagram or TikTok, it takes your profile picture from the other app. It takes your bio. It takes the links. It takes the captions from your content up to 1,000 posts and imports them over to Fanbase. And so now you look present on the platform. You don't look like a ghost. You don't look like you're not here. You look visible. You look present. And it saves the daunting task of reposting a bunch of content from one platform to another platform, which is tough. And so that is available for any user to do in the settings inside the platform. And you get inside the app, go to settings, and then you can say import your content from Instagram or TikTok. It does that process. Follow those steps and you'll be there. What I also like about that is the fact that Fanbase has love. And if you don't know what love is just the next version, a step up from liking something. So like is just, I like it. I appreciate it. I like what you posted. I like what you've done. On Fanbase, that is a thumbs up icon. That's a big thumbs up. And you show people that. On Fanbase, love. We're transactional. We show support over here. So you can purchase love from the App Store, and then you can tip people. And what I love about that when you migrate your content is you've instantly put all of your content in a position for people to tip your content. I actually had a meeting today, and I was showing the app to people, and I came across a user's profile that only had, I think, 7 views of a video or a post. I think they had 4 likes, but they had 108 loves. So they made 54 cents off of one photo just from 7 people seeing that piece of content. And that's what's cool about that, because again, people are more transactional than you think. We want to support the creators. We want to support the people that we believe in. And that's something that I think is remarkable, that people come to Fanbase and immediately make money, which I think is important for sure. Now, number 3, choose your subscription price. By default, the subscription price for any creator on Fanbase, any user, is $4.99. So to be clear, you do not subscribe to Fanbase. So if someone might ask the question, how many subscribers does Fanbase have? Fanbase doesn't have subscribers. Users on Fanbase have subscribers, right? So that means that people subscribe individually to people if they want to. The app is free to download, free to use. So you use it like you would do any other social media platform. But any user on this platform has the option to take their content to the next level and make exclusive content, either in the form of a story, a post, a live, a long form piece of content, or an audio room, right? And so you pick your subscription price. If you want, we have 8 price points between $2.99 and $99.99 a month. If you want something other than $4.99, you have to email support to change that, but that's not something that you can change often. And we suggest $4.99 simply because that is the most advantageous price, where you can get the most subscribers, right? That people can subscribe in volume, as opposed to charging, $99.99 a month, which is one of our price tiers. And again, I'm certain that someone will subscribe to your content for $99.99 a month. It might be 1 or 2 people, but that's why we leave it at $4.99. Next is adding your fan base profile to your social bios. That just means that you can actually add fan base in the link tree or in the bio or other platforms. So what you always want to do is leverage the audience that you have on other apps to bring them to places that you want them to go. So for me, my fan base link is in all of my other socials, and that's where I have people. Now, if I'm on Fanbase and I want to take people to something like my website or my store, then I will put that link in my bio on Fanbase. But that's just creating funnels. It's called funneling. We all should practice funneling because, again, these platforms typically don't allow you to reach all of your following. So the best opportunities that you have to do that, use, add your Fanbase profile in your social bios. We actually have Linktree integration, so you can, use your Linktree to bring people to Fanbase. Linktree is the number one driver of users to fan base in the platform. So we suggest using that. That's also in your settings. Next, how to get paid. So you make money on fan base. Everybody can check their account and see if they've made any money. Even some people have probably made money in this room. Well, to get paid, you have to set up a payment profile. That requires a couple things, some information. And some people are a little confused about why we need that information. First and foremost, we don't hold that information. That information is saved in our payment processor, which is Stripe. So when you think of being a content creator, and what I envision in the future is that the way that people use Lyft and Instacart and DoorDash to make money, content creators will do the same thing and they'll get paid the same way. So for that very reason, you create a payment profile so that the money that you make on Fanbase can be deposited into your account the beginning of every month. We recently changed our payout threshold to $5. So anything over $5 that you make on Fanbase will be deposited into your account at the first of every month when we pay out. And that's significant because, again, all money is worth it, right? $5 or more can do a lot of things and help a lot of people. And so, but it also might actually intrigue you to know that you can make more than $5 and actually turn the switch on in your mind and say, hey, I could actually turn being a content creator into a profession that goes beyond what people assume content creators are, which are people that just do TikToks or on OnlyFans, but you yourself have an audience or a fan base that could be interested in the things that you like. If you're interested in calligraphy or you're interested in horseback riding or whatever it is, you can have an audience and turn that into a career of people that are fans of the same things that you like to do and participate in. Next, it's actually creating the mechanism to monetize, which is posting exclusive content. So again, Fanbase is free to download, free to use. You can post content for free everywhere you want to, but we suggest posting at least 5 pieces of exclusive content. That means things that you can put behind the paywall that people will have to pay to see or unlock with love to get access to. And the reason why we say 5 is because 4 is the price of a subscription. So if someone unlocks 4 pieces of content, they really pay for the price of 1 month's worth of content. So it's like, all right, cool. And now you started a relationship with someone that you can provide content. Because trust me and understand this, that social media is the new television. It is not traditional cable television. We watch our phones like we watch TV. And every one of us that has a fan base page has the ability to be our own streaming service, our own subscription streaming service. That is the real gift of fan base, is that it turns everybody into their version of Netflix or Hulu or Disney Plus. You yourself can have subscribers, and you can actually create content in multiple ways to be able to do that. So that's why we have stories, we have live, we have posts, we have audio chat rooms, and we have Fanbase Plus, which is like traditional 16:9 long form content up to 2 hours. So post exclusive content, do that. Create an audio camp. Audio camps are just a way for you to create community based off a particular interest or subject. So you have the ability to create audio camps on Fanbase and have conversations about those specific subjects. And they can be anything that you want. Again, everybody's a fan of something. So we leave that wide open for what you want to decide. It can be politics, it can be social justice, it can be sewing, it can be whatever you want. But there's a community to be built there. The reason why we say make an audio camp now is because eventually camps will move outside of audio into other formats on the platform as far as stories, plus posts, things like that. So you'll be able to make a post directly dedicated to your camp. So if you want to make a post that only people that are into anime see, and the anime in your anime camp, you can post that and people can see that content. So that's why we say create an audio camp. Next is encourage people to download Fanbase and follow you. You don't, as much as we have a community on Fanbase, all social media platforms are really built also by the community of people that you bring. You tell your friends to come to the apps that you're on. You tell the people that your coworkers and the people that you work with and you have fun with, and tell them to join you on the app. And so we suggest encouraging people that you know to come and follow you on Fanbase, but also create Fanbase accounts themselves. And then last but not least, asking people to subscribe to content. This part is a lot scary for some people because people feel like they use the word begging. And I'm going to tell you why you're not begging if you ask someone to subscribe for the content that you make. Social media was real fun and it was real chill. We were just taking photos of food with one or two or three filters. But we are in an era right now where people are creating amazing content. They're using programs, they're using editing software, they're using cameras and microphones and lights and all these other things. They're creating amazing conversations and DJing and doing all these other things on the platform. And that has a cost. And so you can't be afraid to ask people to support you for the content that you create. It's nothing wrong with that. And the people that really do that find the most success. Those that are shy about just saying, hey, subscribe, bring an audience to a platform and ask them to support you. Those are the ones that make a lot of money, are successful. Those are streamers on video game platforms. Those are Twitch streamers. Those are people that are on OnlyFans. Those are people that really get the audience that they tell to come and support them. And so you cannot be shy about asking to be supported. You're leaving a lot of opportunity for people to support you, and you're actually missing an opportunity to create the behavior of the future, which is we support the creators and the content that we enjoy. And so if you're going to subscribe to Netflix to watch 3 shows out of 50,000, you can subscribe directly to a content creator that gives you the content that you like and you're entertained by. So following all 9 of those steps to get started on Fanbase provides you the best opportunity for success. If you don't follow those, we can't guarantee that you will have the best experience on Fanbase when it comes to monetizing and reaching people and using the app.
Boom, mic drop. Okay, 9 steps. Well, it seems like a lot of things are really simple steps. Most of them you take them already in other social media platforms as well. I do want to share something that is super interesting. As we grow as a platform, we're very nerdy when it comes to insights and data. And a lot of times we challenge ourselves, we challenge everyone in the industry. And one of the things we were investigating is what does it take other platforms, or what does it take creators in other platforms to reach their first dollar?
Yeah.
And we looked at the average, and the average time that a creator has to spend in a platform to even make $1, if so, it's 6.5 months.
That's crazy.
Okay, that's crazy.
Half a year to
Now,
make $1 on a social media platform by creating content, using your imagination, using your money, your time. It takes over half a year to make your first dollar. I know people that have gotten on Fanbase and made $1 the first day. Right. And matter of fact, we're going to prove that right now. If you're new to Fanbase and this is your first time on the app, or your first time in an audio room, put a 1 in the chat and don't try to fake us out, because we know who you are. I know the regulars. I know the profile pictures. So don't try to like fool us. See, come on, man. I'm seeing. Come on, y'all are wilding. I see some of y'all is, but I'm gonna do two. I'm gonna do little toasty, right? So little toasty. Here you go, little toasty. I just gave you 1,000 loves. If you go to your notifications while you're in the audio room and check it, you just got 1,000 loves from me by just commenting in the chat room, and I tipped your comment, and that's close to $5 that you made right now. You've never made money that fast on any other social media platform, and that's why it's so important, is that this is the future of how we're going to support people and monetize. Okay, just because you put a whole bunch of ones in a row doesn't mean I already gave away, but I'm just for that though, I'm gonna show you some love too. To hold on, I see somebody put like mad ones in a row. Like, yo, let me go ahead and throw some love. So again, I think that's extremely important. But yeah, this is
definitely,
this is this is
definitely.
this is the nature of being. This is what the social economy. If that's a definition, if I could describe the social economy, that is what the social economy is. You participate, you contribute into a community with content by participating, by being present, and in that way, just by being there, you present the opportunity for people to show you support and monetize that. And that's the social economy, and that's the direction that the world is going in. That is the direction that all this stuff is going in. It's not going to be these large streaming platforms, these giant platforms like Disney Plus and Hulu and all these things in the future. You yourself will be the streaming service, and you will be able to scale yourself and build a community and build a life for yourself by creating content the same way they can, but you can do it direct to consumer without all the red tape.
Exactly. That's the future for sure. So let's say we have about 5 minutes left. And I want to just briefly mention a few things. Every Tuesday that we meet, we talk about obviously the race, but also we talked about the plan behind the race. Like, why are we raising money? What are we doing with the money? Because as Isaac mentioned in the past, as you invest in Fanbase and as you go through the process of investing, eventually, once you're confirmed and you confirm your investment, we have access to that capital. So it allows us to start actioning as we raise the money. We don't have to wait to reach the $70 million to actually use the money, which is great. And every time we meet here on Tuesday, we share a little bit of the plan and we emphasize what are we working on. So I'm going to just spend a few minutes on two things, okay? Number one is, out of our plan that we put together when we started the race, right? We said we need to scale up the product. We need to scale up the fan base, right? And that can be a very generic statement. And we've said this in the past. We're not just believers in that to scale up, you just need to bring people and just drop thousands of engineers and then everything is going to be solved, right? So as such, we started working on a lot of scalability efforts that will help us start bringing not only better features, but also in a quicker way and in a more relevant way to you. So part of this money we're using to scale up the product. So I'm going to mention a few, and I might get a little bit technical, but one of them is we're investing on our architecture of the product, right? Making sure that the way we code, the way we set up things is scalable, not for 100,000, but for millions, hundreds of millions of users, right? So anytime there is a new device out there, our system can support it as well, and it can allow us to grow, right? So that's number one, architecture. Number two, we're also investing in infrastructure. Now, infrastructure does not mean just the hosting where we have our platform, but means also the functionality that we have. Can we own the infrastructure 100% from start to end? Fanbase is about ownership, and as such, we also try to own the infrastructure from start to bottom. And that takes capital, takes effort, takes skill sets as well. So of course, we're also growing the team, and we'll talk a little bit shortly about that as well. And then we're also building automation. For those that don't know what automation is, automation allows us to make sure that anytime we have a new release, all of our core functionality is automatically tested inside out, end to end, to make sure that the time that we spend, we focus on spending on building the great features that you need, and not necessarily manually having to go and test everything. Because Fanbase, I always say, it's a beautiful monster, but it's a monster nonetheless because it has a lot of functionality, and as such, automation is going to really allow us to speed up our development, have releases that are more flawless, and grow as a platform as well. Okay, and as part of scaling up, we're also growing the team, right? Again, while we don't believe in dropping 1,000 engineers, we do believe in building a great team that believes in Fanbase, believes what we stand for, and is willing to disrupt the world. Okay, so as such, we just wanted to remind everyone that we're growing the team. We're growing the team in the United States, specifically locally. We're looking for some leadership roles as well. So if you know of anyone of you are interested, you can go to fanbase.app/careers, and you will be able to see some of the openings that we just started posting out there. We're looking to grow our product development team. We're looking to grow our product marketing team as well. And also, we're starting to open pipelines and opportunities with the HBCU world. We're big believers in not only bringing great skill set, but also helping develop and giving real life opportunities to those that are just coming into the market. So if you know any HBCU school out there or student that is graduating, we are going to start hiring, creating programs. And as we grow, we want to grow smart, but we also want to bring great talent that it's willing to disrupt and help us become the next big thing. All right. So those are just two of the many efforts that we're doing with this money, but we always like to bring them here because you, as an investor, you're probably wondering, okay, great, you're raising all this money. What is that money being used for? So I just share just two of them of the many efforts that we're going to be using with this money as well. All right. So Isaac, I don't know if you want to add anything here before we close out, but
No, we're expanding. I think the goal of this raise is to build a bigger and better fan base, and so we need good people. We need smart people. I need people smarter than I am. And I'm not. I'm pretty smart, but you only build a company with making it. Putting bright, intelligent, energetic young people around what you do. And so we need that. We need experience. We need imagination. We need tenacity. We need hunger. We need all those things. And so, we're at a very. I always say we've never kind of been here before with regards to social media, especially in this era where this is an independently funded startup, and then subsequently funded by the community of people that believe in what we're doing and have ownership of that product. And we've been successful in scaling that product past 1 million users, which is really that first test, that can you get a product to 1 million users. If you can get a product to 1 million users and you can continue to repeat that process, that's all that you really need to do. And so that's why this raise is so important. So we invite people to do that. I dropped a link in the chat for people that want to check out the careers that we have, the job postings that we have for Fanbase. And stay tuned because, we're cooking over here.
definitely, definitely. All right, so it's 6 o'clock Eastern time on the dot. So it's a perfect time for us to wrap it up, do a brief recap, Isaac, and then we can leave everyone with our fan base promise, which is what we believe in and what we work towards every day.
Absolutely. So this is our weekly Tuesday Investor Town Hall on Fanbase, where we talk about our current equity crowdfund that is happening right now on startengine.com/fanbase. I encourage everybody in this room, if you are not a Fanbase investor, to become a Fanbase investor, because not only are you using this app and you're part of the community, but you actually have ownership in it. And the one thing that I can say is that Fanbase has continued to grow since we started this platform. And growing platforms is very, very difficult. But once you start a community, you can continue to scale that community. It's only a matter of time before that happens and it breaks wide open. So I want everybody to go to startengine.com/fanbase. That's not an investor. The minimum to invest in Fanbase is $399. That gets you 60 shares of stock in Fanbase at $665 a share. We are raising $17 million. Let me be clear. We're already more than halfway there. We're at $10.6 million. I think a good portion of that, probably 6 or 7 of that, has come in the last maybe 4 months, 3 or 4 months. And so the raise has really started to pick up. And we're excited about that. And that gives us the ability to deliver the things that you guys expect and want from any social media platform. But I think it's remarkable that this is coming from one that is based right here in Atlanta, Georgia, with the creators in mind first, the community in mind first, and building a very disruptive product. So we do these rooms every Tuesday from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Always feel free, but continue to use Fanbase even after these rooms. Start audio conversations. Tell your friends. Share these. Share what you heard. Share what you saw. Share what you experienced on Fanbase, and help us continue to build this community.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, everyone. We're going to leave you with our Fanbase promise. We'll see you, or we'll hear you next Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. We appreciate you, and we'll talk soon.